walkthrough at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. And as long as we can still walk around and not have a lot of buffering, I'm going to be doing this. I usually do a recorded walk around, then we'll kind of loop back in here. But we're going to take it casual. My voice is a little bit rough, so I'm just kind of easing into things. So we're just going to walk around. Maybe I should be on Wi-Fi. If I close this down, am I going to lose this feed? Or actually, the Wi-Fi is probably terrible here anyway. Anyway, let's begin where we usually always begin here too. Also, let's see the size of the show this year. All right, we'll figure it out. I do at least see cars over there, so it's not a smaller show as it was in previous years. So we'll just see here. So again, we're going to start off, we're going to walk around. I may make some commentary on cars, but if you really want like more of the specifics, then just check back in each individual video. There will be hundreds of them, and by the time we're done here, I won't even be able to speak. I have been in the auto industry for a while, but for the last few years, I've kind of fallen out of touch with many things. So I don't know much about what's going on. I also live in New York City. So that means there are cars everywhere. I don't have a car. I have an electric bike. That's kind of how I get around. It's a little bit of like, in the suburbs when I actually needed something, I would drive around. But now it's kind of like I don't really have that anymore. And also I'm kind of curious to see who's here, who's not here. Because I think last year, was it last year? BMW had like one of the saddest showings ever. It was basically just like a very small section where I see Lexus right now. And it was not worth going. The lighting was terrible. And I think this was last year, not the previous year. But yeah, I think things are coming back. After the pandemic, the show got really small. Last year, there was a track around here just taking up a lot of space. So at least for now, we're not seeing that. So let's see what's going on with Genesis. So this is a concept, and we know concepts and prototypes. You will not see something like this. But look at the front end of this. I like that there are no seams with the lights. It's beautiful. It's curvy, giant rims. It's just, yeah. In terms of concepts, like, I'm going to be very blunt. It's things that we've seen before. We always see concepts like this. It's nothing really that interesting other than the fact that it's a physical piece right there. That looks nice. Ooh, all right, I have to say, there have been previous years where I've hated the standard color of cars. Like there was this kind of off-gray color which looked terrible, like an unfinished primer version of a car. But here they do something, at least with the color coding on the Magma concept. This beautiful flat-looking car. Genesis X Grand Berlin TA concept. And what I would call, at least right now, a production model of the car. And for some reason, the color is kind of getting blown out. But these are rich and vibrant oranges. Think of like Halloween, but not terrible. These look really, really good. All right, so let's see here. We will walk through this here, but all the way I can see my least favorite color concept all the way in the back. And I just want to kind of, I want to show you a little bit more of this. This kind of dark, metallic, sparkly black, maybe with a little bit of blue, I do like that. And again, it's coming a little bit lighter on the camera than it is in real life. This is my least favorite color probably ever. Has a little bit of green in it. It's grayish, almost unfinished. It doesn't really highlight the curves of the car. It's my least favorite car, just by far. Sorry, not car, color of car. I don't know this particular car here. It just does not read well to me. It looks like an unfinished product of a car. Maybe because there's no sparklies in it. Do not like, do like even more. Oh, and they do have the track here. All right, so at least they tucked it on the side a little bit. Let's see if we can actually see anybody coming across. And this is part of Hyundai. So let's just see. Nice. All right. Again, we're going to be going over this again and again and again. This is going to be just a quick little walkthrough of the show if you can't be here. And of course, I'll put this up later on so you can watch this, but I will be recording the walkthrough again on maybe like an action camera, just with a wider field of view, just so you can have a little bit more immersion. I remember a couple years ago, Infinity had like this great setup. Free drinks, free food, free everything, made us all happy. Infinity as a brand, I always think of it as kind of curvy and bulbous. Not something I would ever get for myself. I think at this point, I like things that are a little bit more cut. My favorite vehicle in general right now is going to be the Ford Bronco. Not the Sport, because that's not a real Bronco, but the actual Bronco. So in terms of things that, if you're trying to gauge like where my head is at, it's usually that. Again, here's Infinity. Good for the people that like it, but for me, not something that I would specifically go for myself. Again, this is not the color that I dislike, but there it is. That color that looks like an unfinished primer color is something that I would really stay away from. Like looking at it, don't like looking at it. Purchasing it, I would not even think to do so. Oh, wow. So if we look in the back here, we have like the classic shiny kind of finish of a car. This is a matte blue. And I would say, let's call this Easter blue, sky blue at this point. I love the look of this. And you know what, from certain angles, you can see it does have a little bit of a shine. It's not pure matte. It's almost like a sparkly matte. It's catching the light really, really well, or really good in real life. And I love what is these? Are these no, I was about to say purple. These are orange accents. I'm already starting to see the trend this year is kind of like an orangey red, orange accents. And that is something that's coming through here. What is that, Genesis? Is Genesis the Hyundai brand? Guys, please write it in the comment section below. I've been out of things for such a long time that I will mix things up, and that's okay. We're just having fun here. But I do like this finish. This is one of my favorite finishes out there. But in terms of like practical care, having something that's matte will show any kind of like nick or dent or whatever, even more than the shininess, or at least I believe so, the shininess of like a gloss finish car. All right, here we are with Polestar. I remember I did a Polestar video a few years ago that kind of blew up, and that was pretty good. I think it was the, what do you call it? All right, not looking at all. I think it was one of their announcements a couple years ago, or maybe even more. At this point, everything's kind of melding together, and it's hard to keep track. By the way, if I'm ever acting aggressive, if I'm ever just like get out of the way, it's just because that's how you have to be on the streets. I've lived here for 7 years, and I've kind of gotten that into my DNA. Please get out of the way. Stop dawdling. Can we swap the lenses? Can we pinch in? It doesn't activate the 3x lens, but can we zoom out? Cannot zoom out. I kind of wanted to use the wide angle lens at this point. What should I say about Polestar? Not much. Not much. Polestar, I would say, it's one of those brands on the edge, still being fed by investor funds. It's just, would you actually get a car from that brand? Or would you get something from an established brand that's trying to get into EV? I think we all know, at least in the wider range of like the entire country, who we're going to be choosing. Unfortunate, fortunate, but you know, these larger companies, they will always have, you know, greater backing. So we'll see. By the way, is this shaky? I know the iPhone kind of stabilizes this a little bit, but it's looking a little bit shaky here. Anyway, we're walking through. Right now, we're in the Honda section. I'm curious to see. Oh, Infiniti does have their little setup again. So if you kind of poke your head all the way through there, they have a place where you can kind of get coffee, get drinks, get a little snack. They did that the previous years. I'm happy that they brought it back because they did not do it last year. I don't know, whatever about last year, it felt a little bit empty. I know that in the previous year, 2 years ago, the show was just dead. The show was kind of on its last leg. They brought it back a little bit this year. This one, I kind of feel more, I don't know, I feel more alive. Right now, we are on the press days around a little bit before 1 p.m. There's a little bit more life here. They have a basketball court set up here at Toyota. Not sure why. Maybe they're a sponsorship of, U.S. Swimming. We'll see what exactly that's about. Oh, is this the Paralympics? The adaptive action sports. That's what we're looking at here. And of course, things like that will be a little bit more populated when it's like the regular days and not the media days, because for us, we're not going to kind of go into that unless we're making like a little video on it. I did remember liking the Kias last year. All right, you know what? That's on the border of that color that I don't like, but they've added some green to it where this is it in real life. It's a little bit more appealing than I thought before, but for me, the gunmetal over there is beautiful. Wow, let's actually walk back there. I know this is supposed to be quick and just like a loop through, but that glint on that is beautiful. Wow. They've kind of, with this kind of color and the finish, they've made a kind of generic, you know, crossover vehicle into something more aggressive. What do you guys think about that color? I think that that's kind of nice. So let's see here. It's sports. All right. Again, in previous years, they've tried to eat up space with those large tracks that they have. This time it's a much smaller track. I would not call this eating up space. This is more like an experience that you can be in, because this is true. Like, you're not just driving a car and eating up all of that space just because there is nothing else to fill. But you actually have these things that you can have fun and experience, and you know, it's with Toyota, so that's fun. All right. This has always been my favorite setup, and I think they made it a little bit more open this year. Previous years, it was enclosed, or at least it felt more enclosed. This side was a little bit more enclosed here. But this is a beautiful little setup. Subaru is like the outdoor brand. I always love how they make the seasons change inside here. It's really beautiful. Okay, and by the way, just if you're just joining us here, I will be doing like a full walkthrough on the action cam, not live, wider field of view, and individual videos just over and over again. You know what? Last year it seemed a little bit more immersive than this year. I thought that the little light panels were brought out more over here. It's kind of chill right now. Again, first day, first media day, and okay, I IIHS safety pick, and I was like, why is this car here? Built safe for those you love. I mean, they speak a lot to that in their commercials. All right, so we're gonna walk by here. If I am not mistaken, BMW is not here this year. There was something over here that, let me just see. I'm trying to remember what it was from last year to this year, and hopefully things have changed. But this used to be, I believe, Toyota. They had a Nintendo Switch colored vehicle in there, and it was kind of cool. There's nothing here now. It's a little bit kind of dead and empty. I know that this is good lighting on here, but it does look kind of dead and empty. This kind of generic, like you can walk into a dealership and see the same thing. This is why I like the Subaru so much, the Subaru setup so much, because it's all about like the vibe. This is just generic vibe. But they only have a car or two here. This is Lamborghini, that's Lotus, Karma, I believe Porsche, over there Rolls-Royce. And okay, they have their single car setups. That's fine. Just, for me, boring. Not really something that I'd spend too much time looking on. We may do one like solid video of just like a loop walking around, just kind of like maybe closer visuals on the car, but outside of that, just not something I'm interested in, except for this Lamborghini pickup truck, which looks sick. The 80s, the 90s are kind of coming back, at least in terms with me. I love the look and the angular look of this, and the color too. That's beautiful. And look at the tiny little Porsche. It's beautiful too. I guess some carbon fiber finishes. That's what we have here. Yeah, not really interested in looking at the other sections. We'll do a separate video on that later. All right, so Nissan. Nissan last year had this kind of snowfall that they don't have this year, or maybe they do and it's just not on, but there were shakers up here which shook and there was snow around. I would have to say they're not doing that this year, but let's look around. Hey, go with the rabbits, go. So unfortunately, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of allergies. It's kind of like holding me back from talking as much as I really, really want. But that's okay. You guys can still take a look around. All right. What do I think about this color here? It's a darker... Now, this kind of unfinished... I know it has a gloss finish, so it's not unfinished. But this kind of coloring just... It doesn't speak to me as much as something with a vibrant color, with a more... Oh, I think I know what I'm missing for me. I was even mentioning this earlier, the little sparklies. It doesn't have that kind of pearlescent look to it. It just looks a little bit kind of dead in its coloring. This is the standard, and I guess this is what I grew up with. This is a little bit too much on the other end, but that's just kind of what we have to work with. All right, we are going to continue this way through Nissan, and then we're going to loop all the way back in through Chevy, maybe one more loop back, and then I'm going to end the live all the way over there, and then we're going to come back and do like the traditional videos. And I'll hope by then my voice is kind of clearing up. Again, if you're just joining, Nissan doesn't have the beautiful snow effect that they had in previous years. Maybe they'll do it tomorrow, but I don't see any of the setups for it. So let's loop back over here. So this is just my taste in cars. I hate the Bronco Sport. I think it's a disservice to the Bronco name, but look at that. Look how beautiful that is. The coloring on that, it's just a Bronco, but it's a beautiful Bronco. They've done that really, really well. We'll come back to that in a sec. We're gonna loop this way, kind of go back around. I think we grew up, my family and I grew up with Fords and Lincolns. And I know that the space is much bigger. It's a bunch of trucks. It's a line of trucks. For me, it's the same truck over and over. But let's see exactly what this crossover is. Is this the Escape? Yeah, it's the Escape ST line. I believe my parents had an Escape until recently. This seems a little bit more crossover-y and flat than previous years. Or again, maybe that's just me. And would this be an Expedition? 2024 Expedition King Ranch. Is this a matte? No, I thought for a second this is kind of like a matte finish. But no, this is as shiny and pearlescent as they come. You know what? If you need a truck like this, if you need something that performance-wise, like, go for it, do that. But what I really like are the smaller vehicles like this, the smaller trucks. And it's just because I'm more minimal. Hey, I know for me, I will go out, I'll buy things I don't need, just like every other human being, but I love the idea of staying minimal. And this is a minimal truck. You know, you got your first row, you got your back row. This is a beautiful looking truck, and wow. Whoever decided to do the paint job on this, give them a promotion, because that looks really nice. And again, I like this. I hate that. Not good. 2024 Bronco Heritage. God damn, that is beautiful. All right. Trucks, Mustang, or trucks. See, Bronco there, not my favorite color pattern, especially after looking at that, which was great. All right, now here we go with kind of the upgraded version of it. I don't want to get in this guy's shot, but this is, what do I think about this? It's a little much, isn't it? Oh, this is the, the Bronco Raptor. This is all right. This is probably what I would get. And I know there's a long waiting list to get a Bronco. I think even 2 years ago, I was like, maybe I'll change my life and like maybe go upstate a little bit more and get a Bronco, but never did. After I was like, oh wow, it's a year wait at the very least. Not gonna do that. But for me, I would probably get something like this. Actually, I would get a matte black color. Maybe same tires, same everything, but a matte black is more of what I would be going for here. It's getting a little bit toasty. I have my hoodie, I have my jacket. Let's get some air. What is this? Please keep off displays. The ultimate all-terrain wheelchair. I know nothing about this. We'll come back to this in the full video here. Foresty green. I had a different type of forest green. Whoa, the door panels are, oh, that's really interesting. I love the minimal finish on this. What is this? Ooh. Completely impractical in the city, but taking this out, just swapping these doors off for these, that is something I really, really like the finish of. And what this really reminds me of is I have one of the Super 73 bikes. It kind of has that kind of like open look to it. It really reminds me, and I think this is really well done. All right, you know what? The green color, I wouldn't go for the green. Again, I'm more like black, or maybe even the same color as the little door panels there. But I love the idea of how open they are. I mean, me walking outside right now and it being about 50 degrees, a cold 50 degrees, that just wouldn't work. That would work for maybe 3 months out of the year, and then that's it. This is the, shoot, what do they call this again? Oh, the Mach E Rally. The little bit of a crossover type of Mustang with a color that I'm not big a fan of. We have the traditional, kind of like almost, what was that? Oh, from Transformers, Bumblebee. Whenever I see that kind of black and white color combination, or no, yellow and black combination, I always think of that, regardless of if it is a Chevy, Camaro, or Mustang. Color is nice though. I do respect that here. I've seen all these cars. We've seen all these cars here before. What is this? So this is a GTD, Mustang GTD. Aggressive in nature, of course. Looks good. You know what I was saying about how much I liked kind of the less glossy finishes, but that one is not working out to me, with me, as much as the other ones were. It looks like it has a giant forehead. All right, then. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is just packed with performance. That one, we'll get back to that. We'll go back to that one a little bit. All right. Walking back. Truck, another truck, another truck. I know for some people that's just blasphemy, but I'm not the biggest person who's interested in trucks. Even maybe the small bodied truck. This is the Maverick. It's a little bit too like just that, but shrunken. Not something that really speaks to me. So we have the electric vehicles here with the front trunks. We'll get back to these. We'll do this again. All right, maybe I should have walked this way. Yeah, we're gonna walk this way. All right, so we're, I believe, moving out of the Ford section, and right now we're walking into the Chevrolet section, the Chevy section. More trucks, more trucks. And again, guys, I know if you're extremely interested in trucks, that's just something I am not. So I will be making like the key videos on this, but this is just going to be a quick walkthrough. Again, if you're not able to be here at the show, at least you're kind of living through me being here. And if you love trucks, then you just want to choke me. I mean, there's a functional truck right here. Functional truck, oversized spot. And oh, actually, you know what? I remember riding around in Uber Blacks. I get the idea of it being good for a lot of people, but just as a standard vehicle, it's a little bit much. All right, little truck, smaller truck. I think we've done the loop that we need to here. This is an interesting color. I'd call this another kind of like Easter green kind of thing. Trax Active. I see the coloring that they want to do. They want to give it a more like Subaru-esque look. It's okay. All right, still in Chevy, more in crossovers and Well, there's the Corvette. Corvette. We'll get back to that one too. All right, for at least this walkthrough, I believe we're coming down to the end because we're going back to Subaru. That means we've kind of completed this loop. Let's see, what is missing? I did not see a BMW, unless I completely missed it. They had what I would call zero presence last year, sad presence last year, no presence at all this year, which I would call an upgrade because, yeah. All right, but now we are going to be doing the dedicated videos. We'll be doing like another straight walkthrough. So what I would say, use this video to tell me what exactly that you want to look at. Do you want the supercars? Do you want trucks? I swear to God, if you tell me to look at trucks, I'll be very upset because I'm not doing that. But do you want to look at the new Camry? Do you want to look at Infiniti? I'd be curious to look at Infiniti. Maybe get some coffee, maybe get some drinks. That would be fun. Nissan is like, I really don't see a fundamental change from last year. So, I mean, if your interests differ from mine, I would love to hear it. And of course, I know that they are too. That they will differ, and that's okay. I do like this. There's my favorite boy again. It's not even a new car. V12 motor. My God, that's insane, and I really like that. All right, we're wrapping this up. I'm gonna walk back to the front, and then we will cut things off, and then we will continue. Now, for some camera-related. Ooh, look at the Beetle. My godmother had a Beetle. A VW Beetle growing up, and it was just, yeah. It's iconic. It really is iconic. Beautiful little car. Anyway, I got distracted and completely forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, oh yeah, camera talk. Quick, just for the people who care about it, I have left the mirrorless cameras at home. For the first time ever, no mirrorless camera. This is just purely going to be shot on iPhones, just to kind of like get that HDR look if I ever pass it through to Instagram, because they really render HDR really, really well. Or it's going to be something like the DJI Action 2, very easy to carry, very pocketable, and just kind of, that's it. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this live walkthrough. Now we're going and doing it all for real, and I'm really hoping my voice doesn't give out. But again, put everything in the comment section below, every recommendation you have. We will see exactly how this goes. I'm excited to do the official loop now that I now know where everything is. And you know what? For next year, this is going to be the better way of doing it. I do a live look through, I get my bearings, I know where we're walking to, I know what I want to look at, what I want to avoid, and that's it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Get ready for a flood of videos after this, and I will see you soon.